Today I want to talk about the most controversial, heavily opinionated, debate-driven man I've seen on YouTube. That man be Myron from Fresh and Fit. Some might call him a misogynistic person, others a great role model. All I know is that this man can talk. So let's go over what makes Myron such a great speaker with these 4 tactics. Let's start with number 1. He's direct in his communication. He doesn't bullshit. Myron has taken on such a pretty hateful reputation with the majority of women that he talks to. And understandably so. If you ever take the chance to watch a Fresh and Fit podcast, you'll see that from time and time again, Myron is calling out some 304 about their behavior and how they'll never ever be able to truly love or be happy for that matter.
18, good mindset. You watch our podcast, so you already kind of understand what men want. Just grow your hair out longer, get rid of the nose ring, go to the gym, take care of yourself, and don't be corrupted by feminism. You, 19 years old, attractive, but yeah, I can see already that like some toxic feminism traits have kind of seeped into you where you think men and women are somewhat equal, etc. But I can see some Eastern European influence still there. Are your parents together?
No.
They're not? Okay. Where's your father at?
I don't really, he lives here. I don't know exactly where. I'm sometimes in contact.
Okay, get in more contact with him. Your father's gonna keep you from being a whore. Your mother's not gonna help you with that, unfortunately, because fathers teach women how to stay off sugar poles and give them boundaries to teach them how the world really works. Mothers, unfortunately, are there to nurture you and make terrible disciplinarians. So build that relationship back with your father. Trust me, he will protect you from yourself. You need that masculine authority in your life.
On paper, this seems like a bad thing. Like, how can Myron be so mean to these girls? Like, how could you say such hurtful things like that? Like, they're people too. And I understand that, but I'm actually gonna argue for the case that Myron is in the right here. As the years go by, there's no doubt that the majority of us have gone soft, especially in America. There are certain things that we're not allowed to say or we're gonna get canceled by somebody, which in turn can positively reinforce behavior that is not desirable. So this is where being direct in your communication is crucial. If you don't like how a person is acting, or if it offends you, or if it makes you cringe, then you gotta tell them. Let it be known. If your friend is asking for advice on something and you know the answer is not what they want to hear, you still gotta say it. You gotta rip that band-aid off. No matter how much it's gonna hurt them. Just gotta tell them how it is. Dude, I'm still fat, I'm not losing weight, and summer's in 4 months. Why are my workouts working? Bro, you've been working out once a week, and basically all you do is sit on the exercise bike and go through TikToks for an hour. An hour. You're not challenging yourself, stop playing. I have actually said this to a friend before, and he knows that the only reason why I'm saying this is because I want the best for him. And because I said this, he respected the fact that I didn't try to cushion the blow. I didn't try to salvage his feelings. And as men, when someone lets you know from the jump what they want, a desired outcome, or how they want you to behave in a certain place or a certain manner, without using like the filler phrases like, hey, can you maybe? You think it's okay if you can? Or maybe you can. Then the respect that they have for you in their eyes goes up by a lot. And Myron does this extremely well. Sometimes he goes overboard, yeah. But think about it. The girls that he brings from Miami and all over the world for their podcast are on the extreme side of the crazy and delusional spectrum. So it's only fair to fight back with that same energy, that same extreme. The second tactic that Myron uses to gain an advantage in the conversation he's having with a person is the ability to own up to the claims that are made against him. Just look at this clip.
You approached me on a sugar daddy website and asked me to be your sugar baby and then couldn't afford my allowance.
Never did.
He couldn't afford my $10,000 allowance a month and said, haha, that's funny. Why don't you just come on my podcast instead? So he pays $40 a month.
Are you done making your point now? Because let's really talk about this then.
Sure.
Yeah. You wanted $10,000 a month and I said no. Because I'm not going to pay you.
I don't want $10,000 a month.
Yeah,
I make well over $10,000
But I'm saying
a month.
I'm not paying no girl any money. Like I don't do that.
Yeah.
So thank you for cementing.
You've never bought pussy before?
Nope.
I wish we could.
Have you ever bought a flight?
Selena,
Have you ever got an Uber?
Selena, stop interrupting.
Sorry.
So thank you for cementing the fact that I don't pay girls off sugar sites.
Facts.
Thank you.
Then why are you
and
on
then
there?
also,
why are you on there?
because I use it as a dating site. And I've said it many times.
You see what I mean by extreme? But yes, this woman was trying to clown Myron for being on a sugar daddy website. She was trying to call him out. But instead of denying it like a scared little boy would, Myron actually owns up to it. He takes ownership of the fact that he does use that site for dating. Now, whether or not being on a sugar daddy website is beneficial for your dating life, I don't know. That's up for debate. But moral of the story is that owning up to a claim made against you automatically gives you the edge in a conversation or an argument. Why? It shows that you have confidence in yourself. It also makes it seem like that whatever the person's clowning you for really isn't a big deal, just by the way you're reacting to it, thus making the other person look like an idiot. And in turn, you can increase your mental fortitude by implementing that tactic to protect yourself from conversational bullies. Speaking about mental fortitude, playing a strategy-based game can also increase your resistance to opposing mental forces from the outside world. I'm talking about all the conversational yappers in this world that deliberately try to test your nerves and your patience in a conversation. So what I do to combat this is simply hop in my bed, in my phone, and play Kingsters, a strategy-based game that I can play in the comfort of my bed to work on my critical thinking and decision-making skills, thus mentally preparing me for the challenges I may face in the conversation, preparing what kind of devious comeback I'm going to say. This game has really helped me think through my decisions and allowed me to stay 10 steps ahead of my opponent. It's free, it's fun, it's informative. Don't miss out. I'll put the link in the description below. The third tactic that Myron uses is a tactic that has been long forgotten due to the takeover of the inexperienced and selfish individuals of today's society. And that being a goddamn gentleman. But not in the way that you think. See, most people tend to think that in a conversation, you're supposed to get every last word in. Every last word in. And whatever you say is the only important thing in that conversation. So those who think that, naturally they tend to talk over any person that they're talking to. Some do it on purpose, some do it accidentally. You don't want to be like any one of these people. I know you can think back to a time where you were trying to have a conversation with somebody, but you just kept getting overtaken by that person in the conversation. How annoying does that get? Like you're trying to say something like, yo bro, your hair's on fire. But they keep cutting you off talking about how many girls they ran through last weekend. Like, bro, no one cares. Your hair's on fire. Get the fire extinguisher. See, Myron often finds himself to be in these situations over and over again on the podcast. Some girl gets emotional over what Myron's saying to her, and she talks over him. But instead of him trying to overtake her verbally, he waits. Patiently. He sits there patiently until she is finished talking before he says anything. This takes a lot of willpower, a lot of stoicism to pull off. To not let your emotions get the better of you, no matter how much nonsense someone is yapping at you. And this tactic can get you a lot of respect from the people who are watching, and possibly get the respect of the person who you're talking to. Like there's no scientific study that I need to show you guys to prove that this works in a conversation. Just watch somebody have a conversation or watch a Fresh and Fit podcast. You'll see what I mean. Waiting patiently gives you more time to craft up your response, craft up a thought in your mind while you're waiting. And side note, if you're in an argument and you want to spice it up a little bit, start off your response with, are you finished yet? Are you done? And then say your response. That'll get the person angry, but make you look like you have the control in the argument. You waited there patiently, like a gentleman, before you said your response. The last tactic that I want to talk about is what I believe truly sets Myron apart from whoever he is talking to, and that being his somewhat innate ability to construct a perfectly good argument and maintain it from start to finish. I believe Myron had a background when working with law before he started his Fresh and Fit podcast for Fresh. And I know with being in law, you definitely have to know how to construct a perfectly good sentence so that you're able to get your point across in an efficient and effective manner. So being knowledgeable in whatever topic you're discussing about will significantly increase the odds of success in your argument. Being able to include facts from research studies or papers, being able to include quotes from significant people that are related to the topic you're talking about. Those can further enhance your argument because it shows that you did your homework. It shows that you know your stuff. Now let's go into a structure that you can follow and rely on when you're arguing with someone, using what I learned from watching Myron. When in a situation when you're arguing with someone, you always want to start off with your argumentative claim, right? Naturally. Followed by an explanation or your explanation statement. Then you want to include your supporting statements, like examples that help support your claim. And if you want to be funny or you want to brighten up the mood or even just create a mental image in the person's head, then you can try impersonation. That's an option, you don't really have to do it. But it helps create that picture in that person's head to see what they're talking about. And really it's just repeating that same flow over and over until your point's proven or until you rest your case. And here's an example of Myron doing it.
Direct communication is when you say things how they are and you don't sugarcoat it. This is how men communicate with each other. The problem is that women don't do well with direct communication. You guys need things, sugar-coated. Oh! oh, it's okay. You're not that fat. Wear my black dress. As a matter of fact, a bunch of you guys actually cheered each other on when they said stupid. Women enable each other to be terrible women. But men, we have to be very honest with each other, because if a guy's a loser, he's not going to get laid. But if a woman's a loser, she could still find a man. Women really struggle with direct communication. You have to say things a certain way so they can absorb it. Hey, this is what men like. This is what they don't like. 1 + 1 is 2. Or if I might say 1 + 1 is fucking 2, doesn't change the fact that it's 2. Not you, but women in general tend to be more concerned with how I said something versus what was said. Women have a very tough time understanding facts if it's not said a certain way. And I don't really care about that because it's direct communication. Period.
But yeah, that's all from me. Hope you guys found value in this video. Let me know what other social skills or conversational topics you guys want me to talk about. And don't forget to book a free one-on-one call with me to help you take your social skills to another level. And as always, don't forget to develop a prodigy mindset and tackle your problems with everything you got. I believe in you. Take care. Peace.